Hello everyone, welcome back. We're going into part 2 here of episode 79 of Court of Swords. Adam, what is going on?
Would you like to elucidate on the thing that you said before the break? We like to come back to the Kalimot and Ramus looking at you like, say, what?
I think that's what we come back to. I'm just like, yeah, I saw my dad. And then you guys can do whatever you want.
I thought you said you saw the Mara.
I did, yeah. That's what I said. I told you guys you can ask me whatever you want. So, if you want to do that now, by all means, but there's probably other stuff going on right now.
So you're a half-breed with one of them.
No. My dad was born a normal human. He made a deal. Became, I mean, it's a weird, he's a god with a lowercase g, but he's not necessarily a nice one.
You're the son of a demigod?
No, I'm the son of a human who became a demigod.
Oh.
It's less exciting.
So he became it after you were conceived?
Yeah. And, I mean, how far are we getting into this? Is this happening?
I mean, might as well. You brought it up. So.
Okay. All right. It's gonna seem weird, but I'll just have to show you the whole thing. And I start undoing my jacket when I say that. And I say, long time ago, I don't know how long it's been, to be honest. I get my first part of the jacket off. And you start to see my midriff. It's unbelievably pale. It's probably the first time I've had anything off on my person, except for my hood and my mask. And I'm continuing. And my dad went out for a hunt, and I don't know. The story says he found something in the forest, and another piece comes off, and you're starting to see scars along my stomach. And went out into the woods, and he came back a changed man. I'm not sure what happened. I just know that that there wasn't quite the right bit of happiness in his eyes. Let's go with that. That sounds good.
While Yoji is describing this, a shift is occurring in the fabric of the space that you're in. So the tent has started to give way. The floor, instead of being rugs set down on sand, you can see bits of grass are springing up through it. We can see the walls of the yurt have given way to a forest, and we can see trees. And we're obviously slowly shifting from Kalimot's desire space to Yoji's, as Yoji is talking about his father.
Okay. Yeah. So he came back, and I guess part of the deal, I haven't talked to him about it. Part of the reason why I'm here, but that's towards the end of this. I guess part of the deal was that he was going to kill me and my mom. And let's say he got half part done. And I think by then my entire top shirt comes off. And you just see giant scars across my entire chest, on my arms of where I've just been tortured by numerous whips, lashes, knives, whatever. And just the gnarliest stuff. Some of them are probably still look pretty fresh, but it's just because they were so deep, however long ago it was. And I get to the end, and I'm just standing there in front of you without a shirt. I go, and I said he killed my mom, but I got away. And that's why I'm here. That's why I'm in the Devil's Vault. I'm trying to find a way to make sure that it works out and he pays for what he did. I was told that's here. So, any questions? I kind of look around the room.
Yeah, and so now I think that the forest, there's a path leading away from this Yoji, to you very familiar forest glade. You've been here not in a long time, but you've been here many times. There's a path of droplets of blood on the leaves and on the stones and the grass, heading out into the dark woods. Yeah.
I think this is your path, Yoji.
Yeah, but someone just changed the path. I'm not going to walk down there. What would I go down there for?
Truth.
I don't need to know what deal was made. That doesn't concern me. He's going to pay for what he did, and that's going to be the end of it.
Are you afraid?
No. I was taught not to be.
You have to be
I
at
say
least a
we
little
go.
curious about why you were almost killed.
Well, story is it was part of the deal. I don't know if I want to know what the whole deal was. Maybe there's more.
Because maybe if you
I
know
think-
the whole truth, you won't want to kill him.
Are you... Wait, what? We'll get back to that. What were you saying, Kalimat?
That's what I was going to say. Maybe you're afraid that if you see what actually happened, you might not want to kill him.
So you're protecting Amara now? Is that what's happening?
Your father had his reasons, I'm sure.
Yeah,
Wouldn't you like to know what they were?
he was probably just looking for power. That's what I've told myself my entire life, and I'm okay with that.
But what if it was not that?
What if it was not that? What good reason could it have been for him to sit there and murder his wife in front of his own kid? What reason works out right there, Ramus? Because if you say it was for some religious reasons, we're going to have problems.
Nothing to do with religion, but sometimes seems like your father was a man of modest income, not a wealthy man. Sometimes even some great people have been tempted by the Mara to do terrible things in the purpose of something good in their eyes that was greater.
Yeah, but
I know it's hard to see beyond what happens immediately to us. And trust me, if someone tried to kill me, I would definitely be furious. But I'm just trying to help you just know that there might be something beyond just what you see.
I kind of like just dead stared towards Ramus for a couple seconds. And if nothing says anything, the room's real quiet.
Yeah.
Then sure, yeah, okay. And I go over and start putting on my shirt and armor and all that stuff again. Yeah, let's go down the path. Let's see what deal my father made. Let's see how this works out. I can't wait. This is gonna be
Yeah,
great.
so you're just like, I'm just gonna do it. I'm just gonna confront this thing.
Yeah,
Fuck it.
yeah.
Okay. Sure. All right. So yeah, we just see you. It's a foregone conclusion. You'll do that. So you go to get dressed, and then we cut over. So, Berg, what preparations have you made for this confrontation? So imagine you have like a bunch of time beyond Emperor Fei, like teaching you the katas of the god-killing strike or whatever, like teaching you his martial arts skills. Is there anything that you would have done? Anything change in the time since you learned that this was your task?
Or might if he has access to like some library about just learning more about gods, assuming that Berg's reading ability has increased since his time being in heaven. That and also just he would do his own just practice if they have, assuming again, of course, he can get full up on his armor and have the apology or whatever weapon he'd be wielding. He'd be doing his own additional practice.
Yeah. So just fully focused on the mission at hand. Yeah. Yeah, I feel that. Okay. Cool. So so you get to a place where, again, like probably like several more months have finished, and we're at the place now where you have been your training is complete, right? Where you've learned this martial arts style from Emperor Fei, the secret techniques, the fivefold death palm, and you've been trained for this sole purpose, right? To defeat this one god, and so you're at this moment. We have this ritual, this ceremony where you are in a room. You're dressed. You and Emperor Fei are dressed in funereal white, in anticipation of the killing that is to come. Little brother is of course present and is dressed in the same kind of funeral, like a priest's outfit, and you and Fei are kneeling, and he has a ring of prayer beads made out of like sandalwood, like dark dyed sandalwood, and he places it's like Akuma from Street Fighter, the big
the big giant beads,
thing that he wears, and so he puts this around your neck, and you can feel its like weight hanging on your shoulders, and he says, when we brought you here, you were unprepared for the reality that was to come. Your training has sharpened you into a sword. You now strike with the intentions of the holy. Your fists are implements of the destruction that will bear you to glory. Your enlightenment will come in fire and in blood. I am very proud of you, Berg. Where once you wielded this weapon out of chance, I now give to you my hammer. One last corruption to wipe from heaven with it. And he hands you the enormous, perfect, this like the one you're used to wielding. And you feel it in your hand, and it weighs. It's different, but it's like you were never unattuned from it. You have the apology of Emperor Fei in your hand one more time.
Yeah,
and it feels good. It feels like all this training is like readied you to wield it again. And he stands, and he says, "Stand now, Berg, hammer of heaven."
That's a cool title.
Right?
Yeah, Berg.
And so so how does Berg look like different now? Like your armor is crafted by by the finest craftsmen of heaven, and you have your armor and your weapon, and like you have a mask. Like how does Berg look different?
Yeah, I think the key difference is, Berg's, every time you see Berg in combat, it looks like he's wearing like shabby armor, and he's all, worse for wear looking. I think this time, at this point, I'm gonna say as a effective being in heaven and under his training, he used to have just like kind of like just a white streak that went through his like bun. Now it's just full white.
Nice.
And Berg's general just kind of complexion and demeanor is a lot more more straight, more clean. He doesn't look like a slave. He's wearing now, he's adorned by all this sharp armor, of heaven. And that's like the key difference is. And you know what? In heaven too, how different is his body? Like, would you be able to see his scar, or is that all mechanics now?
I mean, we don't see, we haven't seen the like mechanical body they gave you in a while, right? But Berg has been changing as he's your image. So the thing that we see is Berg's image of himself.
Right, okay,
as well as so as he's training you, you have become less and less like Berg the slave, and more this like new version.
So that's the distinction I wanted to make. So there is no scar across his chest anymore. It's just it's like it never even happened. His old scars that he had from being on on the earthly plane are gone. He looks very, very clean and very a power to be beheld.
Yeah. You've got a little bit of a glow to you. And yeah, you are in a lot of ways like a more perfected version of an orcish warrior. But there is this calm that sort of flows through you. And so the hammer in your hands is your namesake. It's the hammer of heaven. And it is in this third incarnation of the Apology of Emperor Fei. We can treat it as a flame tongue, which is normally a sword. It's a flame tongue, which means that it's like a maul. It's the same weapon, but you can, as a bonus action, issue a command word to cause heaven's glowing light to erupt from it. It sheds bright light in a 40-foot radius, dim light for another 40, and as long as it glows with heaven's light, it deals an extra 2d6 radiant damage to anything that it hits. That glow will last until you speak the command word again to silence it, or until you drop it. So this is its like heavenly form. It is a radiant flame tongue hammer thing.
Damn.
And yeah, and now it's been placed in your hands for this purpose of killing Shane Wu. It's whatever hammer it was before. But it has those extra purposes.
Also, too small detail. Berg's tusk that's broken is no longer broken. It is it's full on two tusks.
You're reborn in perfected form. Cool. Okay. So you've been given this hammer. And now the Emperor and little brother, we fade to you and them, and now they're treating you differently, right? Like you're no longer the pupil, right? Emperor Fei treats you more like an equal now. You're not expected to behave obsequiously towards him. The two of you are comrades now instead of teacher and student, and you're in a room you haven't been in the monastery before. It may never have existed before this point. It is a room in which there's a sand table in the center, and the sand is rising and falling and sort of moving as little brother concentrates on it. It's showing you a map, and it focuses in on a place, a garden. Quite like the gardens that we saw in the City of Brass, sort of hanging gardens of Babylon type thing that we saw the wizards dwelling in, and we can see it in like perfect detail, even with like little like figures moving around in this replica. And he says to you, Berg, this is where my brother dwells, surrounded by his sycophants, lesser gods, weak creatures he's bent to his will. God of happiness, God of fortune. It is one thing to have these things and to give of them, but another to hold them for yourself and those closest to you. He denies happiness to the world in his every action, so he might hoard it for himself and for those closest to him. You must go to these gardens of happiness, seek out my brother, and show him that heaven's light still shines upon him. When he is dead, we will know, and all else will be carried out. It will not be easy. We cannot get you inside. My brother is cautious. He knows my loathing for him. But we can give you access nearby, somewhere you can approach the garden. Have no regard for him or his servants. If you wield the hammer against them, they will be destroyed, returned to the fountain's light, and given another chance to do better. They hold on to their power, just as my brother does. Do you understand what you must do?
Berg nods and says,
Yes, I believe I do.
Good. Good. Then, and he reaches into his and he pulls out a prayer strip, and he hands it to you. And the prayer reads in Celestial, like a simplified translation is a prayer to be where one is needed most. Basically, like, let me be where I must go in this moment. And he says, make whatever preparations you wish. The monastery's grounds are yours. Say your final prayers, and when you are ready, burn the prayer strip and my magic will take you to the gates of the garden. From there, our prayers go with you.
Berg once again just nods, grabs the scroll.
Okay. Emperor Fey wipes like a proud tear from his eye as he watches you.
There's my boy.
Yeah, he's just like, oh yes, glorious.
Be more. There goes my boy.
Yep. So you you have some time now if you wish to walk the halls, to visit any part of this place that draws you particularly. Basically, you have like the pre-action scene. Is there anywhere that you go? What do you do before you head that way?
So I'm limited to obviously to just like the monastery area that I've been at, right?
I mean, yeah, you have been. You could try to leave if you wanted to.
I think Berg would at least try to find a view of heaven. I'm sure there's like a very, like a lookout point or whatever, a good spot where you can see a good view of heaven, maybe even like a good view of the tower. Just to kind of take it in. Given that, succeed or fail, if he fails, this will be the last time seeing this. So he's just kind of
okay. So we see you climbing a tower in the monastery, and it leads up to this big, like, beautiful brass gong that has mandala carved onto it, representing all of creation. This is a gong that is rung to wake the monks of this monastery, but you're the only one. In a solitary existence. So you come up here and it's empty, the gong reflecting the light of the fountain, and you step over to the edge of the tower and look out into the vista of heaven. And as we saw before, it's just this massively sprawling fantasy city that extends out in all directions, all kind of traffic moving in the streets at a distance. There are areas of bright verdant jungle. There's an area where it drops off into darkness, where gods of shadow dwell. And then in the center of everything, center of all creation, the pin around which the wheel is turned, we see the lance of light ascending that represents the fountain. This is where the actual fountain is. And this time, looking at it, you feel no instinctive need to look away. There's no, you don't feel the shame of your mortal flesh dragging your eyes away from the fountain's light. It's pure and beautiful. And you think, over the sounds of the gentle sounds of the city, you think you can hear the fountain humming. You can hear the song that it is singing out into the universe. What is it? What is this like? There's this moment of like pure beauty, and I think that it touches your soul in a way that your soul has not been touched. What is a memory from your life that you connect with it? When you see this beautiful thing, you hear the humming of the fountain's light. What do you think of? Like, what is the brief flashback that you have?
I think briefly it's a flash of like Berg with Azure Vortex for a moment, but it's very brief. It's like her smiling at him and him smiling back, and that's only for an instant, and then it just goes whoosh again, and it goes way back to when Berg was a child, before he was a slave, like the moments before he was completely, captured and his family was captured, playing around with like all the other children in the area, and then maybe like in the distance hearing his mother yelling to him, like to come back for dinner or whatever. And him like running into the forest and hiding, for a bit longer as his mother grows more impatient.
Yeah.
And
so
he hasn't had these memories in so long.
Yeah.
It's
every
like,
moment of these memories, everything that you feel, that you see, it's like recognizing that it's like seeing a prism for the first time. Like when you're a little kid and you're like, oh, this one light contains the multitude of colors. Like, every beautiful shade of color I've ever seen is contained in this pure light. And so the sound and the light, the white light of the fountain, every good thing that has ever happened to you is a reflection of the pure energy of the fountain. That it was just facets of the same cosmic energy that pervades everything. And so that moment that you recognize that every good thing that ever happened in your life came from this source, and you are gazing upon the pure source now. It's obviously never happened to you before, but you were reminded of all of these good memories, and in some cases they're rekindled in a way that you had forgotten.
I also want to say too, there's a possibility that this memory of Berg doesn't even actually exist, like when he was a child, because it's been so long now that Berg doesn't actually remember like what happened back then. Like he knows it was pain eventually, but before that he doesn't really remember. So this may or may not even be a real memory. It might just be, you know, him thinking back, and it's just his brain is, while gazing into the fountain, it's just like, this is what, you know, pure joy and freedom is.
Yeah. And I think that you're given this sense of, like, you understand enlightenment in a way you haven't before, that the whole purpose of the wheel of creation is to, like, it's like a loom turning to pull a spindle of thread around it. Like, you know, if you wrap a piece of thread around a dowel and you turn it, it pulls the thread onto it. The fountain and its energy turns such to draw that spiral in, so that all things might be returned to the fountain's light. So even every act of like killing that you had to commit, every bad thing you did, those people died and were returned to the fountain. They were returned back to this source of ultimate bliss and given another chance. So even all of your seemingly from the outside, all of your rage and your bloodshed and your killing, it was all for the same service as like your mother's laughter, or like that look that Azure Vortex gave you. It all comes from the same place. And so there is, I think, looking at this light, there is a feeling of not just calm as the absence of like anger, but understanding that your rage is merely a color in the greater light of reality. And I think that's when you feel it come back. And it's not the anger of a person who is like held down, but the anger of a person who is feeling jubilance and anger simply because it's a feeling, because it is a strong feeling to feel. And you feel that fire kindle inside you again, all of a sudden, looking into it. What do you do? Do you stay up here a moment? Do you look for anything in particular? What is this? What is the moment after you feel that?
Yeah, I think he just kind of stands there as this like feeling comes over him, and just keeps staring out at the fountain. And in that moment, he realizes too, like, whether or not he succeeds in his mission or he fails and you know, becomes returned back to the fountain, doesn't matter. Like, he's, you know, to him in this moment, like, he's achieved what he wanted, which was peace, purpose, and a better understanding of why he exists.
Yeah. So I think in this moment, in recognizing that and having that feeling, you see a like a falling or like a shooting star. You see a light just move like across the sky, a blue light, and and you feel a sense of motion. You can feel the wheel of heaven turn one degree. And you know, and I think probably if he weren't in the middle of like waging a war against the Farang, this is when Hazan would feel like he's just lost you. Like the shackles are broken. He has nothing to hold over you anymore. And he will come to realize that with some degree of sadness and frustration, he's just lost one of his best servants. You have moved out of the house of the tower and into the house of the star. Your viewpoint on creation has changed. And so I think that I think we see you staring out at the city, and and that moment, we linger on that for a second before we fade away from the scene. So meanwhile, back in the mysterious forest, Yoji, are you in the lead? Like, we're gonna do this, fine, let's do it, and you're just like storming forward, or are you following Kalimat or Ramus? Like, what do the three of you look like moving through this? It's an otherwise normal forest, right? It's just like boreal, like trees and greenery, and you can hear animals and stuff, except for this trail. And it's not a trail of like arterial spray, but like droplets of blood that you're following through the forest.
Yeah. I'm definitely leading, but it's like I'm leading nonchalantly. So I'm just like, oh yeah, over there, that was the pond. Caught my first fish, and that was where I killed the first deer. It was a great time. Before my father killed my mom, I just like keep walking. I'll answer any questions and stuff. I'm not ignoring you guys as I'm doing it, but I'm just telling you everything that's around in the forest.
No, I think Kalimat's attitude is this is Yoji's journey, and I'm just gonna follow him.
Well, so what I want to do here is, Yoji, are you putting on a show, or is this like your actual like emotional response? Is it like, oh well, I don't care about any of this stuff, and that's real, or are you putting that on to like make them think that you don't really care?
It's definitely real, only because it's like this is how he copes with it, right? Like he knows what he's going, or he thinks he knows what he's going to find in here. It's not a surprise to him. He's been in this forest before, so it's the idea of like also none of this matters because it's not real, and I think that's like very important to Yoji, that like this is all some fucking weird dream trip thing.
It's just a trick.
Yeah. So he knows it not to be the real thing, so he's very he's very nonchalant about the whole ordeal.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So you hear voices before you see them. So you move through the trees and come into a clearing. And as you do, we get a shot from down low of the leaves with the blood on them, and the blood kind of like lifts from the leaves and disappears as you reach the end of the trail. You see before you, a human man who looks like a bit like Yoji. Is there anything unusual about your father's like human appearance that would draw their attention? Does he just look like a woodsman, like a ranger type guy?
Yeah,
like,
he just looks like your run of the mill ranger guy. Similar hairstyle to me. That's why I wear my hair the same way. And I think you see that he's wearing like the same exact mask that I am on his face. It's what he would use to hunt with, so that he wouldn't be detected in the forest.
So I think he has the mask, but it's off. It's like hanging around his neck.
Yeah.
Because he's talking to a group of men who clearly are advertising themselves as like scary individuals. They look like brigands or bandits or something. And the largest one of them, the like leader, they're all tattooed and kind of menacing looking. One of them has he's holding on to the horses they arrived on. There's 4 of them. And the leader is down on the ground, and he's holding a spear, and he's in an argument with Yoji's father. The bandit guy, the brigand, this criminal, he's like, we've been more than lenient with you. You know you owe us that gold, and if you can't pay up, and he looks, and the other guy's like grin and nod. They're like, we know where you and your wife and your little brat live. So if you don't pay us by the end of the week, we'll just come and take them. And your father is like, he's stoic, right? He's tough, and he looks at them like he gives them a stern look, and he shakes his head, and he says, "We're not afraid of you." And they all start laughing, and he says, 1 week, woodsman. And he jumps up on his horse, and they head off. And as soon as they're out of sight, then Yoji, you see your father like not slump, but like sit down heavy on a log, and kind of put his head in his hands, like, what am I gonna do? And he shakes his head and like looks after them, and you can see the dust cloud passing. And you can see you're watching him just kind of like deep in thought. Do you say anything? Do you do anything?
Is this the first time that I've ever heard of this bandit issue?
I think that you knew as a kid, you lived in a dangerous part of the world, and that part of what you were learning wasn't just to hunt animals. It was like to protect yourself and your family.
Okay. Yeah, so after the scene's over, I like point my hand. Great, here we go. he had an issue with the bandits, and now you're gonna see Amara probably pop out from the trees. Woo! It's gonna be a big deal. And then he's gonna get some power. And then I hope we get to see the part where he kills my mom. That's my favorite. I just kind of like turn back and cross my arms and watch the scene.
Right. And you turn to watch because you're just like, okay, here we go. This is the worst thing that ever happened to me, and I get to watch it. And you hear like a slithering sound, and you almost like feel the sound more than you hear it. This kind of scales on stone, kind of wet, slithering feeling. And all three of you, I think, shiver. Ramus, you have been trained to recognize this shit. It is like demonic presence. You know it because you've been trained. You're a cleric. You're practiced at this. You can feel it. And as soon as you feel that presence, things start getting dark and indistinct. Like the sun going behind a cloud, and then it gets dark like night. And like very quickly, you hear your father stand, Yoji, and say, who's there? Who is it? And then
Who is it,
his
Dad?
voice gets
Who's he here? It's like
his
say
voice
out loud.
his voice becomes distant, and then you're just standing in darkness. You can hear like whispering and the echoes of speech, but can't make out words. Like there's clearly something interfering with your ability to see this. Do you do anything or say anything? You're just kind of standing in like a dark cloud now.
I think I say it'll be good to, I guess, see the face of this motherfucker because I'm gonna find him afterwards. I just sit there and wait.
Yeah. So you hear you hear your mother scream. All three of you hear this, a woman scream, and a child, the sound of a child's surprise and fear, and slowly the scene resolves back where we see that, and you saw it before, Kalimat, the cabin, but this time it's a grisly scene, right? So what do they see, Yoji? Like this is the scene. Your mother is dying. You are in your father. This alternate version of your father, his possessed presence. Tell us how you got away. Like what happened? Because this is the scene all three of you are seeing.
I think the first thing, at least the first thing that Yoji sees, because he hasn't seen his mom since this night. He sees his mom. I think she was hung from a tree and like had her entrails ripped out. And she's just sitting there kind of like spinning with her entrails like hanging out of her stomach. And then next to it, you see kind of almost as if it was like waiting, like a necktie waiting for me. And I think you see kind of the scene unfold where my dad was like fighting against whatever was controlling him to do this. And it was like there was a split second where like he gained control or he stopped doing whatever he was doing. And I was just able to get away and just started running. And so it's probably that you see like a little boy just run off into the woods.
Okay. Yeah. So we see your father still in this moment of like holding it together, like maintaining his control as you flee. I assume we stay there instead of following the young boy into the woods.
Yeah.
Okay. So yeah, you see him like fall. He falls to his knees at the foot of this like slowly kind of spinning like corpse hanging from the branches, and he looks up as if just seeing what he's done, and we hear the voice as things start to darken again. We hear this voice say, "I did promise to save your son, didn't I?" And then we hear your father like sobbing, and his voice bends and twists into this demonic growl as things go dark. And you're standing in the woods again. That all kind of fades away, and you're standing amidst the trees. It's nighttime, and the trail of blood is there again, Yoji. You smell the like musk of like a frightened animal, like a deer or an elk or something, and I think you can hear the labored breathing and the kind of noise of a huge like elk or whatever nearby. You can't see it, but you can see the blood trail.
Yeah. I think like I don't think I'm turned towards Ramus or Kali, but I've definitely stopped saying things, and I just kind of like wipe my eyes. You see me like wipe my eyes in my shirt, on the hand of my shirt, and then I start walking towards the path. I don't say anything either.
Okay. So Ramus and Kalimat, you follow.
Yeah, I think so.
Absolutely.
So you're walking slowly through this dark wood, lit from above by moonlight through the big broad arrow-shaped leaves, and we come upon a scene that Yoji, maybe like Berg was saying, it's been so long that you've maybe forgotten this, but you see it's you and your father has his bow, and the two of you are crouched down behind the brush, and lying at the base of a tree, like glowing faintly. We see a bluish white elk, and it's huge. Like if it were standing up, the tip of its antlers would be like 15 feet tall, enormous thing, and it's lying wounded against this tree. It's breathing slowly. It's glowing with moonlight, and your father is telling you a story that you're being reminded of, and he says, before there was a heaven, Yoji, there were older gods. Gods that lived in the trees and in the soil and in the stream. If you listen to the wind, you can hear these old gods whispering, sometimes in their sleep. The old gods gave us the animals, small or big. All of them came before heaven. You need to remember that. The world was here before the gods, and it will be here long after heaven is gone. Things change. Everything comes and goes in cycles, and there will be a time where I will not be here to protect you. He looks at the animal. He says, if you see this creature again, I want you to know it is an omen. The old gods give us ways to solve our problems. Do not forget this, Yoji. Remember. And the vision fades. You all see this through this like sort of mist. And instead of seeing the injured elk lying against the tree, you see the shaft of a long white arrow sticking out of the base of the tree. It's like I don't know, like a longbow arrow, maybe short bow arrow. You could use it in either one. It's just a single arrow, and it's just sticking out of a blood-stained part of the tree.
This is not in part of the memory.
No, this is definitely something new and different. Yeah.
Okay. I think I'm still like kind of in shock because I had to relive the entire moment. So I see it, and it's probably like a little bit blinding because everything else is turned into darkness. I probably start walking towards it.
Okay. Yeah, and when you look at it, it's glowing such that you can't make out the edges of it. Like it's sort of indistinct, but it's
right.
Arrow shaped and it's embedded in the tree.
Yeah, I hunch down and like put my hand out, expecting it to pass through when I go to grasp it.
No, you feel it in your hand. It's warm and smooth. It feels like wood that has been sitting out in the sun. Like it's absorbed sunlight, and and you feel its warmth when you touch it. You feel it's real.
Okay, and you said it's stuck in whatever it got shot into.
It's stuck into the base of this big tree. Yeah.
Okay, I try to pull it out.
Okay, yeah, you do. So you yank it out of the tree, and it fades. Not like it fades away, but the brightness of it fades. And you're holding in your hand a single longbow arrow. It's got like white feathers is fletching. The head is made out of like a pale, like a quartz, like crystal. and yeah, it's made out of some kind of like birch wood. You can feel the magic. You can feel the magic in it. Like holding it, you can just feel it. Like, yeah.
Yeah. What was that, Zeke?
I turn to Ramus. It appears as though he's found what he wanted in the vault. Everything else was a spirit, or you couldn't touch it or grasp it. I'm guessing this is what he really wanted.
Maybe this place isn't entirely illusion. It can give things, certain things, but not others.
Well, it's a vault. I'm guessing if we found what we were looking for, we would be able to grab it.
Very possible.
And then I just turn back and continue to watch.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that the forest is like peeling away, like it's coming apart and sort of drifting away and being replaced. A mist is like wafting up from the ground, and then you find yourself standing in this kind of gray space again. Yeah, but the arrow doesn't go.
Okay.
You have that now.
I've definitely like been lost in thought, just like rubbing my fingertips along the head of the arrow and making sure it's still real, etc. And I completely disregarded the conversation. It probably just sounded like noise to me that Kali and Ramus just had.
Yeah, we were hushed and
Yeah.
talking between us.
Yeah. And I turned to Ramus and go, "Is this you? Is this your doing? Did you make this happen?"
But the whole illusion?
No, this arrow. Did you know this was going to be here?
No. I've never been in here before in my life.
You didn't say a prayer? You didn't talk to the gods?
No. Does that thing have meaning to you?
Well, it means something. It's the only thing that's real around here.
The vault has given you what you wanted.
I guess. I'll figure out what this means later. I start walking towards Ramus. Maybe like you're confused as if I'm going to hit you or if I'm going to just to like say something. Like I'm very
Storms towards you.
Yeah. So I'm just like storming towards you, and I think like right as I get up next to you, I like put my arms around you, and in your ear, I just say like thank you, hush, like almost so that Kalimut can't even hear it, and then I just like get off and kind of like fix my shirt and everything.
I'm like, there.
You know, Ramus,
And
Ramus, don't make it weird, okay? Just, I appreciate
And
it.
you see me stand there, like expecting my hug. Like, I'm ready because I'll hug you back.
I mouth you. Hug him or he will complain.
Oh yeah, yeah. I like put one arm around Kalimut. Yeah. Thanks, Kali. I'm sorry you had to see that, but I appreciate it.
We don't have to talk about what we just saw, but if you ever need to, both of us have seen it and are here to talk with you about it at some other time.
Yeah, I appreciate that. It's been a long time since I shared that with anyone, so yeah. Anyways,
Thank you for showing it to us.
it wasn't me. No one should see that. So keep it to yourself.
I can do that.
Uh,
Well,
Ramus, I guess you're next. What the hell's
Your
you going
turn.
to show us?
So the arrow has a name, Yoji. You know it instinctively by holding it. The arrow was placed here for you, though it wasn't made for you. It was made a long, long time ago. The arrow's name is "A Willow Weeps for Her Father." and you can use it but once. It has but a single. You can draw it once, fire it once, and then that's it. Its actual use, you will need to, its purpose, you'll need to research a little further to understand.
Sure.
So what are you gonna do?
Yeah, I think we turned to Ramus and we're just kind of like, it's your turn. Where are we going? It's kind of this mist is around us and enveloping us.
Well, y'all know what I want. I want to live. I want to not die. This place could show me how. I just start.
So you're
thinking
like,
about,
yeah, you're concentrating on like, I gotta get. How do I do this thing?
yeah.
Okay. All right. Make a What did I make Calumet roll?
It was a charisma
It
save.
was a wisdom. Yeah, it was charisma save. That's right. To try to bend this place to your will.
Okay.
Ooh. Crit.
Awesome.
Great.
Okay. All right. So, oh, that's so good. So you're like, here we go. Okay. And you start to walk off into the mist. And we crossfade over, and the music that we've been playing for Berg's like heaven sequence starts to play, and we see a hallway that leads into a great archive. We've seen this before. You've seen it before. We've seen it. There are jars on all the shelves. These tiny jars with a light in them, and there's this time a pile of glass jars on the floor, and essentially like heaven's equivalent in crystal and brass of one of those like message tubes. And every couple of seconds, we just hear this like boom, and like another tube clunk clatters, drops a jar onto the pile that bounces down and then lands on the floor. This pile is getting quite large, and we see behind a desk a creature with many arms, looking very frustrated, picking up the jars, looking at them, putting a label on them, and setting them onto the shelf. And so he's just doing this, looking, occasionally wiping his forehead, like, ugh, so much work to do, like picking the jars up. And we see this room, and then we slowly pan down this massive pile, and we start to get scale as we get closer, because we see Kalimat and Ramus and Yoji approaching. And this is like a mountain. The size of this pile is like it's miles tall. It's like you're walking into the foothills of an enormous mountain of people die a lot in the world all the time. And so there's this enormous like Godzilla-sized creature. He's hazy because he's so far away, like picking up jars with his storm of limbs, placing them on shelves. And you are walking up to this forms around you, the great divine archive of souls.
I'm definitely just like, Ramus, what the fuck is this?
I think this is where souls are processed. It looks like they're a little backed up.
Yeah, just a bit.
And yours, okay. All right, yeah, let's go with it. Okay, this is where souls are kept.
It has to be in this room. My soul. Somewhere.
Close your eyes and focus on it. That, or don't. I found my stuff because I just thought it was all a joke. So, I guess just be you, and it'll happen.
I focus on my soul with the bottle that would have my soul in it, and desire it.
Try to like think of. It seems like it's like a Zen koan. Like, think about your soul. What does your soul feel like? So you're kind of like trying to concentrate, and then we see the entity suddenly stop, and he looks down, and he's like vaguely human shaped, right? He's enormous and has this like central ring of what we can see now. He's in full on work mode. He's got thousands of arms growing from his chest. He has like bluish skin and long black hair, and then there's a halo like floating over him, burning, and it's illuminating the room. It's a halo of white fire. And he stops suddenly, and he looks down with these like glowing yellow eyes, and he says, "Wait a moment. You shouldn't be here." And it booms, like it shakes through the room. And he like leans down like he's just discovered a bug or something. And he's just like looming down towards you. The air being displaced from his movement like pushes you back. And he's like leaning down to like look at you closer.
I'm Ramus, stop thinking about, oh fuck. Just like right in front of us.
Yeah, and so this enormous, like 8-fingered hand kind of like lands near you, and you come up to his knuckle maybe, and it lands near you, and another one, and he like crouches down, and we see his face like a planet just kind of like descend towards you, and you can see yourselves reflected in the glassy surface of his meters across eyeball. And he's like right down at you. He blinks, and his eyelashes brush the floor next to you. Like you have to dodge out of the way as they like flicker past you. And he looks down and he says, "Mortals," and it like shakes the room. "What are you doing here?"
You have something of mine that I think was misplaced.
He squints, and he reaches out, and he goes to scoop all three of you up. Do you want it? Does anybody not want to get scooped?
I think it'd be pointless to try to run from this thing, so I'll just...
I mean, you're pretty small, right? You're like a little bug, so you could like run and hide. But yeah, I mean, he's gonna try to pick you up.
I will let him pick me up.
Okay.
It's definitely the case of like, Ramus, okay, you're okay with this.
Yep.
Sure.
So suddenly,
suddenly
you're surrounded by darkness as his whole hand scoops around you. His hands smell strongly of like you just caught him after lunch, so his hands smell like spices. And you suddenly are like lifted away. You can feel your stomach drop. And this is like the equivalent of like a couple of G's of force. So maybe you like black out for a second as he like lifts you, what to you seems like several miles in the matter of a second. And then you're dropped onto the table, and there's a big grain of like sticky rice that has fallen from his chopsticks that's laying on the table. You can see an enormous ink blotter and a of ink. And you look up, and he leans down with his face, since you're looking at his face. And when he breathes out, he's got really bad garlic breath. It just like wafts over you like a wind that could carry a ship, but made out of stinky garlic breath. And he says, "I think you're all very lost. Now, what's this about losing something?"
Yeah, it's my soul is kind of lost in here, I think.
Ooh, are you on a quest?
Yes, a mighty quest.
I've heard about these. Wait one moment. And he turns, and like his sarong kind of like brushes across the table. You have to leap back as this tsunami of fabric kind of rolls past you, and he reaches up. He's got a satchel, an enormous satchel hanging from a peg, and the peg is stuck in the wall, and the peg is like the size of a tree. And he reaches to his bag, and he pulls out a scroll, and he slams it down on the table, and the table shakes, and he rolls the scroll out, and you have to kind of like, again, jump over it. And on the scroll, there are all these like celestial characters, and you can see illustrations, but for you, like we see them, but for you, you're just standing on a piece of paper, like as long as a city street. And he says, "I'm quite fond of stories about quests. This one's one of my favorite. It's about demon slayers. You don't like demons, do you, little heroes?"
No, we despise them and try to fight them whenever we can.
Ah, excellent. And he claps with several of his hands and it booms through the thing and he says, then perhaps my afternoon's not going to be as boring as I thought. And he reaches out and he swirls his hand around and he grabs the air and he pulls. And when he pulls in the air, the ink extends and grows up into the shape of buildings. And suddenly you're in a ruin. You can see, and it's all monochrome, right? You're standing on a plane of sepia, and these monochrome ink, like, buildings have just like, been yanked out of the floor, and you suddenly can't see each other. There's, like, walls in the way. Like, you can't all see each other. Maybe Yoji and Ramus, you're still next to each other, but Kalimat, you're on the other side of a wall. You're in one of these buildings. And he says, in the story, I think it was... Yes, I remember now. Ravagers. And he goes, and he blows on the map, and more of these characters spring up and take on demonic form. You see them, they're in the shape of kind of like cats, but they have like long tendrils growing from their back, and they're all made of this like inky color. And he says, so your job, I suppose, kill the demons for me. And they start to like snarl and approach you through these streets. I guess roll initiative. So let me grab a couple of these creatures, and then we'll see if you can impress this guy.
I think as you're doing that, I look to Ramus and go, "Are we actually in heaven right now?"
I don't know. Maybe this feels very real.
Where did Kalimat go? I look around.
No, I'm still here. No, what I think is so funny is this whole thing is in your mind, and your name is Ray, so like it's very much like Ghostbusters. Like, Ray, what did you think of?
So in this moment, I'm not going to draw a whole map or whatever, but you've got your tokens there. So Ramus and Yoji, you are in essentially a city street. There are alleys made out of paper folded, like the paper is kind of like wavy a little bit. It's not totally flat. So there's this like wavy surface. There are building like ruins, like walls and stuff sticking up. And then let's see how far away he summons these little ink monsters. Let's see. Okay, so they're 80 feet away from the two of you, Yoji and Ramus. The two of you are kind of like near each other, so I'll put you there. So you can see them. They're 80 feet down like a long street. There's two of them, and they're sort of stalking towards you. And then Kalimat, you are in a building. It's maybe like 50 by 50, and you can hear your friends outside, but there's... you also hear like a snarling. One of these creatures is like stalking you through this building. So let's go ahead and I'll pop the initiative order there. So go ahead and click on your tokens and roll your initiative.
Oof.
And I will do the same.
Hey, fighting on Court of Swords.
So let's see.
That's what the plus.
Oh, damn it! I was hoping that was Adam.
No, this one's me, and I can actually I'll just put them on the map because we all have an ID. Okay, so Ramus, what would you like to do?
So I can see the creatures in front of me.
Yeah, and so they're sort of like flickering and like flowing. They're basically like multi-limbed, like extra-limbed panthers made out of like flowing ink, and then they have two long tendrils coming out from their shoulders that seem to sort of search for you in the air, and they're kind of like flickering around. They're 80 feet away from you. They're about 10 feet apart from each other.
I make a real dramatic like. By heaven's light, I cast the flames of heaven upon you, foul creatures of the Mara, to be smited in heaven's fury, and just send a fireball at them very dramatically. Like,
Yeah, and in the
Trying to impress
background,
him.
the enormous god is just clapping and like make a I'm gonna start a how impressed this guy is a tracker. So God is pleased. Make a performance check before you make your roll.
Okay. A 1.
And yeah, so he's like clapping as you cast the spell, and then I'll give you his reaction after you cast it. So
Hey.
okay, all right. So I'll make saving throws. Now these are saves for half, so these guys have avoidance. So let's see. Here's one, and there's the other. Okay, and so they both fail, so they take half damage from the fireball because of how avoidance works. And it does 28 damage.
Yep.
Okay. All right. So, let's see. 5 and 14. Okay. All right. So, the creatures like there's steam and they hiss and snarl, and when you finish your little speech and you throw the fireball, we see all this from your perspective. You're like, I smite thee with, and you throw the fire. But then we cut up to his view, and we just see this little like of fire just
It's
go like
Ant-Man all over again. That's what I'm picturing.
yeah, right. It's like someone tried to strike a match and it didn't go. It's just like and like this little pop, and he shakes his head and he says, "Oh no, that won't do." And he says, "It needs to be more dangerous." Do you want to do anything else with your turn, Ramus?
I think I'll move 30 feet away from them.
Okay, so Ramus, you are 110 feet. So you like back away. Okay.
Yeah, as
right.
I'm casting it.
Yeah. Okay. So Yoji, then you see the two that are chasing that are coming towards you. They rush towards you. Now they can't do anything else with their action, but they can move up enough that they're basically about to leap on you. And he says that the god says he's like, yes, that one's going to be torn apart. That will certainly inspire the others to greater heroism. But I wonder what's happening over here. And he swirls his hand and like pulls the roof off of the building that you're in, Kalimat, so that he can see. And we see one of the displacer beasts crouched down on the second floor on the mezzanine, about to like leap down onto you. What's your passive perception?
My passive perception is 14.
Okay, let's see if this is a stealthy leap. Ooh, it is. Okay, so it has advantage on its first attack. Okay, so you take 9 bludgeoning and 2 piercing on that first one.
And I don't see this coming, do I?
No, you don't. Yeah, so
it
leaps down and lashes out at you with one of its tentacles. The other one, now that you can see it, doesn't have advantage. You dodge out of the way of that one, and he claps his hands and he says, the rogue, all alone. A tactical mistake. One should always have one's allies when fighting in melee. Like claps his hands.
This guy's chat right now. Fucking chat.
Kalimat.
Yeah, no shit.
Kalimat, what are you gonna do?
Now, okay, where am I in relation to everybody else? Like,
you can just hear them out. You can hear them outside somewhere, but you don't know where they are. Like, you could run out of the building and probably get an eye on them, but
okay. Well, okay, here's what's gonna happen. Like, since I'm in this world, I grab my focus, which I think was my flute, my like pan flute or whatever, and I kind of wish, I'm just like, let me disappear, and I start like start playing a tune, and then like you see, like, I actually like fade away.
Yeah. So you disappear, and become invisible. So the
And I look at my hands like I don't say anything, but I'm thinking like, holy shit, it worked.
Yep. Okay. The the creature, the god, he's like, oh, invisibility. That's hardly fair. Not very sporting. Well, hit it at least.
Let's see. I use my judging by the sound, can I judge how far away they are?
They're probably just out in the street if you run out of this building.
Okay. I use my bonus action to disengage.
Okay.
And then I use my movement to move out of this place and find them out the door. Like, get out there and go find them wherever they are.
Okay. All right. So you're gonna run out into the street. Okay. All right. So you pop out into the street and you see.
Can I would love to, since I'm invisible, I know I can only move half, but I can sneak, right?
Hide is an action.
Not hide.
Your cunning action.
Not hide, sneak. Like sneak away.
What?
So like, because I know I'm invisible because it happened. So I don't really need to hide, but sneaking seems like the way to go.
I mean, it's kind of the same thing, but what we can do here is you don't have to disengage because he can't see you, so you don't have to worry about that. So use your action instead of disengaging. Make a stealth roll to try to skulk away. Yeah.
There you go. Okay, so since I don't have to disengage, I will use my bonus action to hide because that's part of it.
Yeah, exactly. Okay. Sneak so he can't hear you.
I have like a list. Bonus actions. This is what you can do. All right. So I will do that. I will hide with stealth. Yep. And I will critically fail it.
Fucking Christ.
Okay. So the thing has a pretty good idea.
Yeah.
And I think that, the god is just like, not so sneaky now, are you? Yeah. And you like try to skulk away. And we can see from his perspective, you're tiny, but you're not invisible. You're kind of like see-through, and we can see you moving away from this thing. But you get out into the street and you see your friends, and you can see all that stuff.
Never mind. I was gonna use something someone just said from chat, but I don't know.
Okay. He'll have disadvantage trying to find you.
Okay, there we go.
But yeah. Okay, all right. So, Yoji, it is your turn. There are these two of these great beasts.
I'll just pull out my rapier and shield and see what I can do. Yeah, I just go to attack the one that one of them tried to attack me, right? Or no, they got up to me. They're both up to me.
Yeah, they're both about to attack you.
Okay. Yeah, I attacked the same one. So first rapier attack, 13.
A 13 is a hit. Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay. So 8 damage. Oh fuck. Okay. I guess I started my attack. Can I cast Hunter's Mark in between attacks and just apply it to the second one if it hits?
Yes, definitely.
Okay. Yeah, I just forgot the order. It's what is it? A D6 for anything that attacks or anything that hits. And then also. Okay, never mind. So I get 3 attacks thanks to Dread Ambusher here, as well as extra attack for the second attack, and then Dread Ambusher gives me a third attack for an extra D8. So here's a 10. That's probably a miss.
It is, yes.
Yeah. Okay, and then if you take the attack action on a turn, you can make one additional. Oh yeah, so one additional weapon attack. 22, that hits. So 10 plus a D6, so 11 damage. So he takes 19 total.
Okay.
What a mighty blow, warrior of heaven! Might him.
I hear Ramus say that, and I like embellish the blow when I do that. Like I I scream as it hits, like you do in karate or something, to make it seem more powerful. So you just go, ah!
Make a performance check.
Oh God, these are at -1. 18, not bad.
Okay. Yeah, so he rubs his blue chin and he looks down and he's like, the voice acting is very convincing. Ramus, it is your turn again.
I say, to hell with running from these foul demons. I shall charge them and engage and run up to them. Mighty heroes of heaven's past, I summon thee to help me against these foul creatures. And summon spirit guardians.
Nice. Okay.
Spirit, so the whirling.
Are they the same? Okay. Yeah. Good. So
They're-
a cloud.
They're even mightier now, and they're shouting prayers of heaven and just, you know.
Okay. A cloud of shrieking Ramus spirits burst out and start spinning around. Okay. So do they? Is it? Can you put the spell up on the thing?
Yeah. Give me a second. I just clicked it, and I'll paste it in the chat.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, there we go. Okay, so it's 15 feet around you, and I assume you don't want to affect Yoji with it.
Yeah.
When it first enters the area, which it hasn't done, it's in there already, but on its first turn, it'll need to make a save. Okay. Great. So they will make that save. Let's take, and you deal 19 radiant damage. A wisdom save, I assume.
Yep.
And not a strength save.
Yeah, wisdom.
Is it wisdom? Okay. All right. So
Yeah,
the first one.
It's all messed up. Yeah.
And the second one. Okay. All right. So the first one makes the save, and the second one takes damage. Okay. All right. Good. Okay. Halimat, what are you gonna do?
So I've ran my 30 feet. Can I see where the other my friends are?
Yes. Yeah. You emerge from the building and you see your friends. They are fighting in the middle of this street.
Cool. Then I am going to use my movement to get up. Like, is this at scale or not?
No.
Okay.
These are just kind of generally like I'm just laying them around so we know kind of where everybody is
Cool.
related to everybody else.
Is it? Can I get there within 30 feet?
Yeah, I think so.
Okay, cool. Then I will get on the one that is closest to me.
Mm-hmm.
And well, can I get like? Because I know there's one behind me. Kind of want to position myself so I'm harder to get at, like so he can't just come and like slash my back.
Okay. Yeah, you can like move up.
I'm hoping
besides
to get
your
around
friends
to like
on the other side.
Like right here, yeah, somewhere around.
I mean, these
here.
things are really big, so no. I think with 30 feet, you just get to the closest one, unless you want to use your bonus action to move again. You can dash and get to the other side.
Let me see. Yes, I will use my bonus action to dash and get to the other side of him.
Okay. So move and then dash, and then what do you want to do with your action?
I am going to sneak attack him.
Okay. Cool.
Okay.
All right. So you have advantage on the attack.
Okie dokie.
And you're not invisible anymore, so you appear.
Yep. 13. Oh, you fat 15 advantage, right?
Yes. Yeah. And you hit.
Okay. So I hit, and then you like see this sword, like I just pop out right next to Ramus. It's like, hey! And I drive my sword as deep as I can while I'm like whispering like weird incantations. Like it seems like really like gibberishy, nonsensical shit because it kind of is.
Yeah.
But I'm
Yeah.
attempting to, like, basically telling the beast to die, like
Right.
over and over and over again. So I will expend one of my bardic inspiration slots to add 2 more d6 to my damage.
Okay.
Okay. So 5 plus roll 3d6, and the last 2 dice will be the psychic damage.
Okay. Nice.
Whoops. Hold on. I should have rolled 5d6. My bad. These are the psychic damage. There you go. So 11 for sneak attack and 6 for psychic.
Nice.
Okay. So you leap out and you stab the thing in its side, and ink like spills from it. It howls, waving its tentacles, and it falls over. It falls over dead. And the god we see up above, he looks down and he's like, no, that's no fun. Just keep fighting it. It's still alive. And it like leaps back up and snarls at you.
Hilarious.
And then it's the displacer creature's turn, and he says, and I think this would be more fun with some lightning bolts. Yes, lightning. Can everybody make a dexterity save?
This guy's a fucking dick.
11.
Say DC 14.
Oh,
That
God.
was too easy.
Oh God, we all fail.
All fail.
Okay.
I had to roll
So,
a 7, dude. We
Good
both
stuff.
did.
So all of you take. There's a crackle of lightning. Everybody takes 10 damage as lightning leaps through you, and he's like, "Ah, yes, that's more appropriately challenging." And then the creature is attacked, and then this one comes running up, and then everybody gets attacked by tentacles. So two for each of you. These are for these are gonna be for Calumet. One. That's a miss. And the second one, also a miss, I think. AC is better than 14, right?
Yeah, 16.
Okay. And then 2 for Ramus.
Miss.
Okay.
Right?
And then for Yoji,
Hit.
that one's a hit for 12.
Yeah.
And then 17
Miss.
for, it would be for 9. Yeah. And so these things are like swarming you. And he's just like leaned over watching, and like all of his hands are kind of like, he's like got his hands in his hair and like rubbing his hands together and like, cleaning his ears. Some of his hands are trying to work, but he's standing too far away from the pile. And so they're just kind of aimlessly flailing in the background. So they all need to take saving throws from the displacer, from the
Guardians?
the Howling Ramus
Yeah.
Guardians. Yeah.
Yeah.
So let's as they spin wildly around. So 1,
Nice
2,
roll. 20 damage.
and 3. Okay, so
Pass. Save.
first one doesn't take any damage. Second one
Or
takes
fail. I mean.
10, and then the third one takes 10. Okay. All right, Yoji, it's your turn.
Does it seem like performance check wise, does it seem like this guy's like into it, or like is he cheering for us or no?
No, right now he's just like, he seems kind of like bored. Like he's like, okay, and then they all attack you and you dodge all of their attacks, and that's not very exciting.
Right.
He's just kind of like,
I don't really have any like flashiness. We're doing all right. Can I, being that we're in the Devil's Vault, can I close my eyes and imagine the choir that was in Ramus's room to like cheer for us every time we do something as an action? Can I
yeah, if
just,
you
like,
want that to be, yeah.
fucking brilliant.
I think that's fine. Make a charisma saving throw.
Oh god, this is still a -1. 9. Fuck, probably not that well.
Okay, so yeah, I think like a discordant like noise kind of like washes over the area for a moment, and it startles the god, and he sits up, and with one hand he rolls the whole scroll up like really quickly, and he's like, nothing, I was working, I'm very busy. All three of you make con saves. I'll roll for the beasts as well, as you all get rolled up in the mat.
Fuck,
Just
man,
say
my saves
DC
are bad.
12.
I failed.
Fail. Succeed. Failed. Okay. All right. So it's bludgeoning damage. Let's say.
Let's say. Jesus.
Okay. All right. So if you failed, you take 11. Otherwise, you take 5. And suddenly, yeah, you're all like rolled up, and he like looks around. It's like, oh, and like unrolls the mat again. You all kind of like tumble out. Everybody's prone.
Can I have
so
with
Yoji,
the uncanny dodge?
Yes. You can't really dodge the whole world rolling up over you. So no, I don't think so. Actually,
Okay.
there's nowhere to dodge to. Right? It was
Okay.
getting. And so he unrolls and he's like, "Everyone okay? Well, back to it then." And Yoji, you can finish your turn.
So that was
bonus
one
action.
action. I guess if I have a bonus, that was it con damage I just took?
It was
sorry.
the bludgeoning damage.
Just
Yeah.
bludgeoning? Fuck. Okay.
It was close, Ramus.
I know that was real close.
Yeah, I don't really have any bonus actions that I can really do. So I guess that's my turn.
Okay. All right. Ramus, what are you gonna do?
Oh, this mortal wound! Oh, I climb only with the strength of my faith to battle the beasts that still haunt this realm. And I climb up slowly with agony, just oh, foul beast, just die, will you? And I cast Toll the Dead on one of them.
Nice. Okay. All right. So let's see. The one that already kind of died is the one that looks the most injured.
14. Oh, he's got to save it.
Yeah, he's got to save. So he got 19. So he got
Yeah.
it.
Nothing.
Damn.
Oh, darn, their magic is too strong. Why I need allies? And I summon a spiritual weapon
Okay.
next to it, and then have it smack down instantly, dramatically on the same creature.
Okay. Make a performance check. And then and go ahead and make your attack roll.
Okay. 10 on performance.
Okay. All right. So he's like, this one is taking forever. Give someone else a turn. And then you can make your attack.
Okay. +9.
Oh, crit.
Nice.
Oh, a crit.
Crit him.
So that would be 2 damage. Do it again.
Yeah, go ahead.
All my spells
my.
messed up. I have to re-add them.
Oh, okay.
So 5 + 1 is 6.
6 damage? Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you clunk him with the hammer, and the beasts are fighting, and he's just kind of like watching, like this big dramatic sigh, which you can all feel like a gust of wind. He's like, I've seen this fight before. It's more fun with 4 of you. Hurry up. And Kalimat, it's your turn.
While I'm thinking of what to do, I am wishing beyond, like, we need Berg here. So I'm wishing for Berg to magically like come back to life and like zombie Berg or something.
Make a charisma save.
Okay.
19.
So here's what happens. So you're like, oh, I wish that Berg were here, and you concentrate, and you hear a like, "Roar!" And you look over, and you see, he's like hunched over like a Cro-Magnon, right? He's got big long gorilla arms, and he's walking on his knuckles, and he's wearing like a lion skin over his body. He's about like a foot shorter than normal, but like huge, big shoulders. And he's holding a big stone club, and he looks around and he's like, Berg, I'm here to save. And he like swings the hammer around, and the god grins and he's like, good, just what we needed, a big dumb barbarian. And and so you've conjured Berg the caveman. And
I look up at the god. I look up at the god and I say, "You think that's good? I will blow your puny monsters away." And I just thunder like breath weapon like.
Okay.
Out
Yeah,
at
you can hit 2 of them. Sure.
Okay. And it's 3d6 now, so that's nice.
Nice. Okay. So you need to make a, what kind of save is it? Con save?
It is con save for half. Yep.
Okay. So there's the first one. And then the second one.
2, 4, 1. Yay!
There you go.
So that one takes the damage. Okay, great.
And can I roll performance for that?
Yeah, please. Yeah.
Okay. Because that's what I'm good at. 24.
Nice. Okay, so he roars. You bit loud this and he roars. He's like, "Oh, exciting! A little bit more magic. That's better than all those sneaking tricks." But he leans in. Shh, keep it down. Someone will find out. I'm supposed to be working. And then the beasts leap into action. So they're gonna make their
one last.
You did
thing.
your main action. Yeah, you have another thing you want to do, right? I always forget you have the extra one.
Yeah, one bonus. I will do. Let me do disengage.
Okay.
And then I will. So Berg is huge now.
There's this huge caricature of like giant green gorilla Berg wearing like a caveman loincloth.
I'm gonna disengage and get behind big zombie Berg.
Big Berg.
Yep. Big Berg.
Okay, so you
that's
you run over behind Big Berg, and then the beasts have to they have to make their saving throws against the whirling spirits. So let's see how that goes. 1, 2, 3. Okay, they're all fine.
Fucking Christ.
And then they attack. So Yoji, 2 on you. 1, 4, 7.
Okay.
And the second one
for 9.
Or 9. Okay. And then Yoji, 1 for you and 1 for Ramus to split them up evenly. So this one's another one for you. This one's for Ramus. Obviously, you take 12. And then 2 more for Ramus from the third one. 1. And there's 14. And 2. Oh, so many good rolls.
Yeah.
And then another 15. All right, so they're snarling and tearing into you with their barbed claws, and you're penned in by these creatures. Yoji, what are you gonna do?
I think this fight started, and Yoji was like, "Okay, this will be a walk in the park to appease this dumb god." And he's sitting there with like 6 HP, and he's like almost on the verge of passing out and dying. So he's getting really angry. So these, what was once like fake guttural attacks, are like real fighting for my life guttural attacks. And I'll just make 2 attacks at the one that was already down. So here's the first one. Roll well. Okay. 14. That's a hit.
Okay.
For 8 damage.
Okay.
And then does Hunter's Mark just go? Yeah, when he deals. Let me roll a d6.
Yeah, you gotta. You actually have concentration for the Hunter's Mark.
Oh,
You gotta roll
fuck.
for this
Do
when
you want me
got
to
hit.
make like 8 rolls?
Yeah, just two con saves because you got hit twice.
Okay. Pass, fail. So it's gone.
Okay, there you go.
Crit and a fail, same thing. So never mind. That's 6 negated. So 8 damage. Second attack hits with the rapier for 6 more damage. So 14 damage total.
Okay. Great. Anything else?
Nope. That's it.
Okay. All right. Berg, can you do me a favor, Max? Just make an intelligence save. Just need an
Sure.
intelligence save from you.
It's my time to shine, guys.
Don't do that, Adam.
Here we go.
Okay, so Berg sees the little guy like running around, and he's like, Berg, smash, bad guy, and he like turns and he swings his big club at you, Kalimat.
Motherfucker. Of course he does.
Okay, so let's see here what's that, and it's not actually. I'm not using Berg's stats.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah, right. You get that going for you. Okay, so he's got hide armor. He's got his club. Let's see. It's an attack. It's a 13, and on his second attack, an 18.
Come on.
So that second one. Second one hits you. 18. Yeah.
Okay.
So
Yep.
roll. Okay. You take 11 damage.
Damn. Are you
Okay,
down?
so 5.
Yeah. So he smashes you
I
with
can
the
uncanny
club.
dodge it. Just, Jesus.
He, like shakes the club over his head. He's like, Bergam, greatest warrior. Ramus,
I think you should let Max act that shit out.
yeah. You want to do giant dumb Berg?
Tiny scale teeth.
Perfect. Thank you, Max. Yes.
You bad one.
So Ramus, it's your turn. What do you want to do?
I would like to try what the others have been doing, and I would like to imagine 3 angels coming from heaven to help us fight the demons. Angel-like
Okay,
warriors.
all right. Okay, make a charisma save there. Okay,
17.
all right. So you call out to heaven, and we cut away from the scene, and we can see there are other there's this other hallway of people, and we see the various like strange entities of heaven sort of moving around, and there's a group of 3 white robed like featureless kind of creatures, and they're standing. They're making the motions of like talking to each other, and all 3 of them look up at once, and they turn and they look, and we see the door, and they turn and they just start floating towards the door. You want to do anything else with your turn?
Then I will attack. Attack with spiritual weapon.
Yeah, because it's a bonus action. Yep.
Or another 11 on the same creature.
Okay. All right. So you dissipate that one with the weapon. So it crashes into it, and the thing comes apart in a splash of ink. And the god looks down at it, and he's like, that's one, but there's 2 more left. What are you going to do about them? And Kalimat, it's your turn.
God damn it, Berg, you son of a bitch. I'm gonna try and persuade Berg. Does he look like he's like he hears and understands anything, or? Because I imagined him.
I mean, he looks like a badly like low poly version. He's the Nintendo 64 version of Berg. Like he looks like a child's drawing made 3D of Berg, or like a big stuffed animal version of Berg. Like he's
okay. Then
it's
I'm
not
gonna talk to
actually
him.
Berg.
Then I'm gonna talk to him like a child, and try to persuade him, like, Berg, no, Berg, smash Kitty, don't smash me. Smash Kitty.
You're like pointing at the bad kitty
Yes.
for Berg to smash.
Exactly.
Okay, so you can use this. This is like the aid action. You'll give Big Bad Berg a advantage on his roll when he
But
makes
not
that
against.
intelligence
But,
check.
but is he gonna do it against me? God
He's
damn
gonna
it.
make the intelligence save, and we'll see what happens on his turn. But that you have that as a bonus action, right? Your like aid ability.
Help. Yes.
Yeah. Okay. So you can still do something. You still have a regular action, and
Okay. So I don't roll. He just rolls.
he will on his turn. Yes.
Okay. Okay. Then I am going to let's see. Yes, I'm going to come out from behind Berg, and let me hold on one second. I just got to see the range on this. Okay, so it's a 15-foot cube.
Okay.
Okay, so I'm going to move over to this one here. Like, can I navigate like?
Stand on its body. Yeah.
Okay.
Move through it if you want to.
Perfect. Can I make a flashy show of like climbing up, like tumbling up its body, like acrobatically, like that kind of shit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Sure. Make a performance check as you leap over that way.
You bet. 27.
Okay.
Nice.
27. All right. Cool.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
so
then
the god has to lean in and like squint as he like looks at this little piece like rolling.
And then I say, like, since my other ability didn't do it, I'm going to look at the displacer beast that's directly in front of me, not the one that's in front of those guys, but the ones in front of me. And you'll see me like roll up my sleeves like this. I said, be gone! And I clap, and the thunder wave just goes.
Ah, nice. Okay. Cool.
And it is that.
Okay.
Wave of thunderous force escapes 15-foot cube originating from you. Make a Constitution save, or take 2d8 and be pushed 10 feet away.
Okay. So it makes the save. So on a successful save, it's half as much damage.
Yep.
So roll the damage.
Okay.
Not bad.
8.
4.
Okay, 4 damage. So you do that, and the god is like, shush! What did I tell you?
That's
Make
kind of the point.
make a wisdom save, Kalimat.
Okay. Because he can just keep this going as long as he wants, and if it gets someone's attention, that's kind of the point.
I think it's let me check. I think it's wisdom. Yeah. Okay, you fail. All right. You are silenced. Now you can't make any noise at all. You can't you're like, and you're like, there's just silent, and there's like you've lost the ability to make noise.
Perfect.
So he's like, ha, there, that'll keep you.
Fuck. All right.
So
I did all my actions. Yep.
Okay. All right. So the displacer beasts will make their saves against the swirling Ramus cloud.
I hope they fail. One of them needs to die.
Sorry, this is a
Fail?
wisdom save.
Yep.
Okay.
Oh, still fail.
Okay. So a fail,
Fail.
and what was the DC? Yeah, they both
18.
failed.
18.
Okay. And how much damage for this one? 17.
17 radiant.
All right. Cool. They're close to dead, but they're not dead yet.
Fuck.
Yoji, you get attacked. Are you doing for hit points there, Yoji?
Just make the damn roll at him.
Okay. All right. So the first one attacks, gets a
Miss.
15. Okay. Second one attacks.
Oh,
19.
I'm down.
Okay. All right. When he sees you go down, he like gasps. He's like, and leans in real close to pay attention. And the other displacer beast sees that you drop. It attacks you with a tentacle, so it has advantage. And if it hits, it's a crit.
On what? Natural?
Okay.
I mean, it crits.
Yep. So you fail 2 death saves. And then the Displacer Beast attacks you again. And it hits you, right? Because you got 16. Hits you.
Now,
and you die.
do I have my shield when I'm dead?
No, you would drop it.
Okay, so yeah, I have 16 AC and a hit.
So he hits.
Tell him he's dead.
So he hits you again, and you die. And the god like leaning over, he sees it, and he's just like, yes, and then you die, and he's like, oh, well, that's no good. That one's still alive. He's fine. He's okay. And so you get 1 hit point, and you're prone.
Okay, great.
And it's your turn.
Crazy.
Am I aware that the god just killed me? Or sorry, just brought me back?
No, you just got beat up by the Displacer Beast, and it wasn't as bad as you thought. You lost consciousness for a second.
If Yoji knew what just happened, he would fire a bow shot at the god, but he doesn't.
Right, like, fuck you.
Yeah. But he doesn't, so he still thinks he's like, oh. He just stands up and
So lucky.
Yeah, I'll make some rapier attacks at the one near me. The one that just killed me. That's a hit. Plus...
Yep.
Oh, I don't have Hunter's Mark anymore.
Okay, so...
Yeah, I'll just... Fuck it. Another hit. 17 for 8, so 20 damage.
Okay, all right. So you kill him. You kill that one on the second attack.
Can I incur a performance check for the death to immediate kill maneuver?
Yeah, sure. So you like leap up. You're like, haha, I'm not dead yet. Blah, and attack the guy.
Yeah, but it's actual anger because I'm fucking. This is like the dumbest.
Yeah,
thing.
right. Sure. Yeah.
10.
Performance check. Okay, you got 10. All right. Cool. Berg, would you like to make an intelligence save? You have advantage this time.
Yeah.
Do it.
Woo!
All right, there you go. So the funny little man says, "Fight the bad kitty." So you go lumbering over to the Displacer Beast with your club in hand. Do you want to make 2 D20 rolls? You have a +5 to hit. That's what I gave Big Berg. Yeah, +5. to hit.
D20 rolls +5 on each.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's go. First one. Oop. It was a horrible roll.
That's a miss. Yep, definitely.
And one
definitely
more.
A miss.
Hey.
There you go. Okay. And you deal 1d12 plus 3 damage.
Okay. I clicked the wrong thing. Give me a second. 1d12.
No, you got it.
Well, you rolled it.
I didn't do the +3.
Oh,
Oh,
Yeah,
Well, it's
go ahead and roll.
+3, so yeah, just throw a +3 on there. There you go.
7 damage.
So 7
then.
damage. Okay. So you take a swing at the thing, and we see Big Bad Berg smash the kitty, and it splatters into ink on the page and dies. And the god scowls, and he's like, "Oh, you would never have been able to beat them if I didn't help you anyway." And then you hear at the door, and he's like, and he grabs a drawer, pulls the door open, and sweeps you and the map and everything else into a drawer and slams the door shut. And suddenly it's just dark. Suddenly it's just darkness.
I love it.
And I think that's the hard cut of the episode where he's just like, and like jams his little like game pieces into the drawer, slams the drawer shut, and then it's credits.
Why is it dark?
Great.
Yeah.
he just starts killing all of us. It's fucking awesome. It's gonna be
Smash darkness.
Oh, man. All right, let's do some shout outs and we'll call it a show. Zeke, why don't you start us off, sir?
All right. What's up, everybody? Wow, what an episode. Ups and downs, emotional roller coaster, and then just fucking absurd ridiculousness. I fucking love Dungeons and Dragons and role playing, and I love the people I play with. Thank you, Dan, Max, JP, and Adam, for making this such a great thing every week. My name is Ezekiel the Third. You can find me at or / Ezekiel_III on Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. Give me follows. I love follows. But I will be broadcasting. I was thinking about maybe doing a late night short cast tonight of Warframe just so I can level up maybe and group up with some people maybe tomorrow. God damn. And my new monitor. Oh my God. My buttery. You know what? I might just go alone. I might just not broadcast so I
Yeah.
can see it on my monitor. And
You might
I'll
get
fix it
banned
later, but
with that new toss, you know, if you stream that.
yeah, we'll see what happens. But anyways, follow me all those places. Drop frames tomorrow. Probably, maybe playing some games or talking about games. I don't know. But yeah, that's it. That's all I got. Thanks.
Cool. Mr. DansGaming, some shout outs, sir.
That was a very fun episode and just so meta playing D&D within D&D, which is amazing. I cannot wait till next week's episode. Just like last week, I'm excited to see what happens next. Thanks for having me on the show. I'm DansGaming, variety streamer. Currently playing Darkest Dungeon and Sims 4. So if you're interested in checking that out, I'm live every day at 9 a.m. Pacific.
Awesome stuff. Mr. GassyMexican, some shout outs, sir.
How's it going, guys? I'm GassyMexican. I also stream on the Twitch. You can check out my stuff. I do variety broadcasts on here and also do some YouTube content. YouTube content's been a little bit light, but getting over being healing and getting over my injury, so it's good. But today was really, really fun. A lot of tonal shifts that I think were really, really cool. There's a lot of variety for everybody there. So it wasn't all just like, oh, this is sad and, you know, like heavy stuff. It's good. I liked it. But as always, thanks to Adam for creating such an awesome world and playground for us to play in. And of course, everybody that plays with me, because you guys make it all the more fun. Yeah, now we'll do the post show, and I look forward to the next time we play. Thanks for watching.
Cool. Last but not least, Adam, and then we'll do some goals before we wrap the episode, so don't forget.
Yeah. Hello. Hi. I'm Adam Coble. I'm the game master who played the game master who played the game today. Thanks for coming, everybody. Court of Swords we're in a good place right now. I'm having a good time. I'm doing a minimal amount of prep and having a maximal amount of fun, which is exactly where you want to be if you're GMing some stuff. You can usually find me at twitch.tv/AdamCoble, where I talk about role-playing games and occasionally play video games. And if you are watching Far Verona, which you should be, we got a Far Verona faction turn coming up on Friday, as well as a couple of other RPG-related treats over on my channel. You can also find me on Twitter at skinnyghost, where I am tweeting apparently controversial opinions about whether or not one should cheat at D&D when one is the Dungeon Master. So check that out as well. I'm going to go ahead and finish titling this Q&A thread. Go to community.itmeJP.com and you can talk about this episode. I'll put that stuff in chat as soon as I'm done with it.
Cool. Let's do some XP, and then we'll wrap up the show.
Okay. So for goals today, I think, let's see, Berg, you received a boon from heaven. You did that. So good job. That is worth, what level are you? 9?
9 now, yeah.
Okay. All right. So that's worth 2,200 experience
Nice.
for you and a magic hammer. Cool. Okay. And then Ramus, you worked on retrieving. Actually, like, I think you retrieved something valuable from the vault. Is this about like something for yourself? Because as a group, you got that arrow, but I think this one was like a treasure for me, for Ramus.
I think it's more of me. Yeah, something for me.
Yeah. Okay. So you worked on that one, and you worked on finding a location of a soul. So 50 times your level twice.
Okay.
And then Kalimat, you worked on all 3 of yours, right? Get the key from the vault, escape the vault alive, and you explicitly asked to like keep mod safe at the beginning. You tried that. So 50 times your level 3 times.
Cool.
Yoji, you did it. You did your other one. You did your secret one.
We did the secret one, yeah.
And that was?
You did your secret one.
That was find the divine artifact in the Devil's Vault.
Yeah. And you are, what level are you? 7?
7, yeah.
Okay, so that one was let's see, for you. That one's worth 2,200 as well.
Okay. And then investigate Ramus's soul issue. I think that's in process, right?
Yes. Yeah, I would say you work towards your other 2. So 50 times your level for both of those.
Okay. Yeah. Cool.
Cool. Good stuff, everybody.
Sorry, I'm adding this all together. I think I'm just shy of leveling up. What is it 3,300 or 33,000 for level 8, Kali?
34.
Fuck. Okay. I'm 1,700 away. I will hit it soon then. All right, cool. That's out. We're gonna record that post-show episode, and we'll be back next week, I do believe, with more on Tuesday at our normal time at 6 o'clock Eastern. So we'll see you guys then. Have a great night. Bye bye.
Everybody.